Hello students, I welcome you to the May month place in news. So as we have seen, we are continuing with the April and the May month continuously, right? So this particular session will be very specific to the China centric locations. So we'll be seeing many locations with our China centric. So first in the international affairs, we'll see the locations with respect to the South China Sea, right? And when we come to the locations in India, we will look at all the major locations that were in the news with respect to recent India China clash. Okay. With respect to India China international relations, I will discuss that in detail in the international affairs. Okay, right. So let us start. First is the South China Sea. Now, in the South China Sea, first of all, what you need to focus is a broader perspective. The UPSC can ask you to arrange these sea in the north to south or south to north direction. So, Sea of Japan, Yellow Sea, East China Sea, then South China Sea. So, at least focus on these pointers. Okay, so arranging of these islands in the north to or in these seas in the north to south direction, right? Coming to the north South China Sea. So within South China Sea, very famous line is, now every aspirant knows, 9 dash line, right? 9 dash line. So these 9 dash line are the historical claim done by the Chinese. These are the 9 dash line. If you count these lines, these are the 9 lines. So these are the 9 dash line. China claims, okay, these are our areas. What is the basis of that? China says historically they have been China's area. Now, South China Sea contains a lot of, the question has been asked in the mains examination, and I think in the prelims as well, about the 9 dash line and South China Sea overall, why the region is very important. It is not only important for the particular these countries, we will discuss that, Vietnam, Malaysia, Brunei, Philippines, but also in the context of the larger global order. Okay, because recently US also has said that we will not consider, these are the illegal occupation by the China. We will see that. Okay, so 9 dash line is basically China's claim to these areas of the many of the islands which are present in the South China Sea, basis on this historical basis, right? Now, why these islands are important? These are uninhabited island, no one lives there, but these are important because of the EEZ, exclusive economic zone. Secondly, very high amount of the resources are present there, oil and gases are present there, right? Fishing present there, and more importantly, uh, sea lines of navigation, very important. Okay, right. So let us see one by one. So first we'll see 9 dash line. So 9 dash line, if you see, you'll understand three major areas right there. So first is Spratly Island, second is Paracel Islands, and third is Shobar Shoal. So you can see it is very close to the Philippines. So the dispute is between China and the Philippines. Paracel is a dispute between majorly Vietnam and China, and Spratly Island is a dispute between many nations with China. So China claims all the territories which come between this as its own, and they have started building a lot of infrastructure on these islands as well. We will see also. So the Philippines went to this arbitral tribunal that China has been claiming these things. In 2016, it has given the judgment also in the favor against China, that these historical rights do not provide China any legal basis. Okay, the legal basis is not provided to the China, so China cannot claim these islands on the basis of saying just that we have a historical right to it. Okay, and this is brought to them by the Philippines. However, China has not followed that. China has said that we do not consider this particular body's judgment as binding on us, and then its ruling by rejected by both PRC and by ROC. ROC means Taiwan. Now, interestingly, we'll discuss somewhere the story between China and Taiwan. It's a historical, you must know, because in the world history this question can be asked also. And also, as this India China standoff is there, there have been many voices in India which wants India to develop play a Taiwan card, or develop diplomatic relationship, or at least start some sort of engagement with the Taiwan. Okay, so ruling was rejected by both PRC, that is the mainland China, and ROC, that is the Taiwan. Recently, when the judgment has come in 2016, US has not been very proactively saying that China should follow this. However, after the recent clash, especially after the India China clash, US has come out and said that China's occupation of the island in the South China Sea is illegal. So now the US is using this particular terminology, that this occupation is illegal, which was not done beforehand. Okay, right. So this is the South China Sea, right? Then we discuss Spratly Island. So we have already discussed the location of Spratly Island. So you can see the difference. It was earlier this type, and now China has developed highways, um, many on which the aircrafts can land. They provide the military supply. The Chinese MO is basically, they, to the international community, they say they also build up some civilian infrastructure also, so as to showcase that it is our territory, not only building up for the military purposes, but also for the civilian purposes, right? So they develop a very high end infrastructure on these islands. So these are Spratly Island. It is also known as the Great Wall of Sand. Now this term has been given by a US admiral. However, this question can come, the Great Wall of Sand in the news, because they always keep remaining in the news, and especially South China Sea is a very important flashpoint of the world. So Great Wall of Sand, the name given by the just one second, the name given by the US admiral to the land reclamation projects that have been taken by the China. So for example, there is a rock or a small island there in the South China Sea, and they take the land around it also. So they create a big space out of these small islands. So this is what being called by the US admiral as the Great Wall of Sand. Okay, and it is with respect to the Spratly Island. So also remember that. Okay. Next, we see Paracel Island. So Paracel Island is a disputed territory between China and majorly Vietnam. So you can see in the July 3, 2020, which is very recent, Vietnam protests China's military exercise near the Paracel Island. So China has been intruding on these, and they keep on doing things, nudging things. We will see also, this is the modus operandi of, in fact, China. They do not, first of all, clarify, okay, they do not settle the dispute, and they start doing something. They keep on doing something and nudging the opposing country, the opposite side of countries. They will do some military exercise, they will build up some infrastructure, they will build up some tents, they will build up some other infrastructure. You have read about this in the India-China clash as well. Okay, so it is also known as the Jia Island, which is called by the China, Paracel Island. Okay, right. Next is the Scarborough Shoal. So this is the location you have already seen. It is within the 9-line near to the Philippines. So it is a disputed territory between Philippines and the China. Okay, right. Next is, it was in the news, and that is why you need to focus on these points more. That is Natua in Islands. So these island, if you see the location, it is outside the 9-line logically. But you can see China's tendency to, that is their modus operandi to extend their line. So this is traditionally they are claiming this line, and also now they want to set up, or they want to extend their influence to these small islands as well. Now this island has historically been under the administration of the Indonesia. Okay. However, China is now doing some activities nearby this island. So this is an archipelago of 272 islands located in the South China Sea. It's a part of larger Tua archipelago near the Brunei, under the administrative control of the Indonesia. Now, why it is in the news? Because China has been doing something in these areas. Okay, why China is pressing Indonesia against over its maritime concerns? Because of the same fact that they want to extend their sphere of influence in the South China Sea. Okay, so dozens of the Chinese fishing vessels. So first what they do, they put these fishing vessels, people into this sea, so that, okay, first of all, the other countries' military will consider, okay, these are misguided people, but they're very strategically placed by the China. So first they do this, then slowly the military comes up. And this is the same modus operandi that they have done in the Ladakh also. There they send their pastures, the Chinese ones. Right. So Natua Island, please remember. Then last one is, the last location we will discuss is Kennington and Zamora Reef. So these reefs are in the Spratly Island. Okay, so why it is in the news? Because the China has recently opened a research station in these islands. So these are the various fronts. So fishing vessels, the civilian facilities, the research stations. But majorly the focus has been to get its sovereignty over these islands, because these are disputed regions. And when the China starts doing these things, that goes to show to gain more legitimacy, to get more legitimacy out of this particular um, their operations, right? So this is how the China operates. So right, we have seen the locations with respect to South China Sea. If other main, basically the previous locations that we have seen, those were more of a traditional nature, but the two islands and these two reefs we have seen, these are in the current affairs. But you need to know all the ones, because whether it be the prelims or the mains or the interview, must write about these islands and these disputes. This is one to get you marks. Okay, now we will see the locations which are in news with respect to the India, and majorly we will see the locations which are in the India-China face-off. So we will start with the overall idea between the India-China dispute with respect to the mapping only. So the discussion basically will be confined to the location part, because we are discussing the locations in news, right? But I'll discuss some historical factors so as to understand the basic idea. So basically in India-China dispute is divided into three parts: Western sector, Central sector, and the Eastern sector. In the Central sector is more or less in agreement. Both the countries are more or less in agreement. The problem is in the Eastern sectors. Now majorly in the previous few years, Eastern sectors has been flared up. I mean, you must have read about McMahon line, when the Dalai Lama goes to this Arunachal Pradesh area. So then it creates some issue. However, the Western sector this time is in the news. So we'll focus predominantly on the Western sector, and very finally we'll have some idea over the Eastern sectors also. Okay, so let us start with the Western sector. It is the Western sector in which the Galwan Valley, Hot Springs area, Pangong Lake. Pangong Lake we have already discussed, but again I will discuss, because some detailed maps are also have come, because that will show the real dispute between the India and the China. Okay, so let us start. We will start with the historical context. That is the first line, that is the Johnson-Ardga line. So what is this Johnson line? So this is the Johnson line, which India still considers as the, for example, whenever you draw the India map, right? So when you draw the India map, for example, this is the India map, right? And this is the Johnson line. Okay, and still India considers this as its territory. So that means Aksai chain is also part of the India. That is the Indian formal position. Okay, so de jure position you can say. So this is called the Johnson line. So what is the story behind Johnson line? It has a British legacy. So British India wanted to have a clear demarcation on with respect to the Tibet against the expansionist Russian. So expansionist Russia, they wanted to have a clear boundary. So they have decided that okay, it will be the Johnson-Ardga line, and this line was adopted post-independence by the India. The government of India post-independence fixed the official Jammu and Kashmir boundary on this. This is the Kunlun mountain range. Okay, so Johnson line. Then there is second line always remains in the news, that is Macartney-Macdonald line. So what is this line? So this was the line that was after this Johnson line. This was the Chinese were not happy. So on the instigation by the Russian, Chinese wanted some amendment to the Johnson line. So they have said, okay, we want this line, some different line, so that the Chinese want some more area within their own territory. Now this line was not ratified by the Britishers. Britishers did not, the proposal was developed, but it did not went through. However, China till 1959 consider this as its official line. Okay, this is the line we will consider. We will not consider the Johnson line. So as to start with, India consider this the Johnson line. Okay, we have the map in the next time also. So India consider this as its own territory right at the stroke of the independence, you can say. And China consider this, okay, no, we will have this line. So again, in the starting itself, this area was a disputed area. Okay, fine. However, later on, what problems have come, that China wanted this one to extend westwards. And India was in the euphoria of the Hindi Chini Bhai Bhai, that there won't be, on the pretext of on the presumptions of our first Prime Minister, that there won't be a Chinese aggression on Indian borders, that he let it go. But Chinese wanted to push this westwards. Okay, So in 1960s, or you can say 1959, China had their another line in their mind, and that line you can consider China claim line, this line. Okay, right. Then no, this one is not there. This, for example, this one is the Chinese line. And after 1862 war, this line became the LAC as well, line of actual control. Now, before you understand, line of actual control is not defined in the Western sector. And that is one of the biggest issue between India and China border disputes, because both the sides consider LAC to be different, and that is why the clashes are there. So China considers this as an LAC, or what we say the line of actual control, and this is the line claimed by the China in 1960. Now this LAC, what presently is LAC versus the China's claim. Now both the lines seems to be like this here, but here becomes a problem, because LAC becomes here. That means India, whatever the territory west of LAC is India's territory or India administered territory. What is the territory westward of or eastward of the LAC is the China administered territory. Now this is the LAC. Okay. Now China's claiming line, predominantly it is there, but it comes here. You can see China's claimed line. So this area, this is small area, again is disputed. Not only Aksai Chin area is disputed, but this area is disputed as well. We will discuss this area. This area is called Demchok. Okay. Now here we read that absence of the definition of alloys allows new and repetitious advancement on the ground. And this is it is said to be one of the strategies of China. It is not something which is done out of ignorance. It is done deliberately by the Chinese so as to not define any boundary. The same we have seen in the South China Sea when they want to extend, okay, this is the 9-dash line, but also we'll claim this. In fact, if the question comes 10-dash line or 11-dash line, that is also related to China, because they claim, okay, we have one more dash. They can claim any territory. Okay, and that is why we have many of the bones of contention with respect to the China. We'll discuss some of them where the clashes have happened or some intrusions are there. Okay, right. Also after that, we'll discuss some of the agreements that have taken place between India and China on border. It's not like that we don't have any agreement. We have agreement in 1993, we have agreement in 1996, we have a recent agreement 2013. But on all the agreement, LAC is mentioned, but LAC is not defined. Right, and that has been criticized by many of the scholars, that you claim LAC but you have not demarcated the LAC, and that is where the background of the problem comes. Now when the LAC is not defined, right, then what happens? It is the pasture, or the Ladakhi people go for the pasturing for their animals. Okay, so whatever the area they go to is considered to be the, okay, it is Indian territory, we will go, I live here, but I'll go for the grazing grounds till these times. And the people living there, they have flagged, they are not saying that Galwan is not a one event. Rather, it was waiting to be happened. Many of the Ladakh leaders have said, because Chinese have been intruding in India. It is not something which comes, for example, every time on LOC with Pakistan. Every time it is in the news, every time it is in media, okay, some ceasefire violation happened, something happened. They have crossed LOC. But with respect to China, nothing comes in news. You may have realized that also. Finally, when this Galwan clash has happened, finally everyone woke to, okay, now the China is also in the public consciousness. But the Ladakhi leaders have been saying that Chinese inclusion have been going on for long. Okay, and cutting across the party line, whether it be BJP or someone, right? Now, how the Chinese modus operandi is, Chinese MO. So what they do, Chinese prevent the nomads from grazing the Indian land. So for example, India considers this as our territory, for example, right? And China obviously considers this as our territory. But the grazers from India goes to this particular area. Now China slowly starts sending, okay, you cannot cross this. Okay. So what happens? India grazer restrict themselves to this place. Right. So this place finally is occupied by first the Chinese grazers. Chinese people will be grazing these areas, and finally the Chinese military will set up that camps here. We will see that. Okay, so China's prevent nomads from grazing the Indian lands. Top leadership have ignored the concerns. Whenever the Ladakhi leadership have come up with the idea or come up with the concern that Chinese incursions have been taking place, the top leadership in India have not been very considerate. They have listened to or ignored it, and that is why currently we are facing this problem. So this is being the Chinese MO. Okay, so currently Indian Army also, Army stopped our nomads from growing to the traditional pasture land, citing security. So when our army has stopped them, then what happens? When the China sees that there are no nomads, they send their own nomads from Tibet. So Chinese send their own nomads. And when our army does not object, when our army does not do anything, it gives them a sense of, okay, fine, when they are not doing anything, let's go there, let's occupy more territory, because LAC is not defined. So if our nomads are not there, so the PLA soldiers comes in and pitch their tents and set up the camps. And that has been the modus operandi of China for last 20 to 30 years. And that is why major time clashes happen. For example, 2013, there was a clash. Nothing major happened, but 2013 there was a clash. Then diplomatic things were inserted. Diplomatic channels again mobilized. However, nothing substantial or concrete has come. Now, currently, what was the context? Currently, the context, many scholars say currently the context was provided by the India's completion of this DS-DBO road. Okay, what is the DS-DBO road? So this is Darbuk Shiok. You can see Darbuk Shiok to DBO, that is Daulat Bek Oldi. First of all, this road is important, very strategically important road. So when this road was constructed, after 20 years after we have constructed this road, 255-kilometer road that we have constructed, very strategic road. Okay, so connecting, you can see the very strategic place of this. So road connects Leh to the Karakoram. Okay, which divides Ladakh from China's Xinjiang province. So it also provides the advanced landing ground for our Indian Air Force. Right. So when India has built this particular road, that some scholars say that has provoked China. So the context was provided by the building of this particular road. Okay. Now we have in the October month we have discussed. No, this is what the context has been provided by this DS-DBO road. Okay, and that is why we see many of the clashes. We will discuss these 5 areas: Depsang, Galwan Valley, obviously, Hot Spring, Pangsong, and Chushul. Okay, right. Now we have discussed in October this particular bridge, that is Colonel Chewang's Region Setu. So this Setu was part of this bridge was part of this DS-DBO road only. Okay, right. Then we discuss Galwan Valley. Now, Galwan Valley clash was not new. In fact, it was the pretext of 1962 war also. In Galwan Valley, it was the standoff happened, then war happened. So India's forward policy, you must have read about the Pandit Nehru forward policy, because the LAC was not defined. China was considering, not LAC was not the term that being used that time, but the border was not defined. China has other perception of the line. India has the other perception of the line. Indians used to go to these places also for patrolling before 1962. So, and after that, China considered it as an aggression, and they bombarded Indian post with heavy shelling, and finally the war happened. So it was also, the Galwan Valley was also active at that time. You can see Galwan Valley right at the edge of the LAC currently also. So China, what China does, this is, for example, this is LAC, China keeps pushing through. It is called the nibbing policy of the China, nibbing and nudging policy of the China. Okay, some scholars have said that nibbing and nudging policy of China. They keep pushing through, just like we have seen the South China Sea. It is not singular to Indian territory only. The China has been doing it for the majority of the places they want to establish their hegemony. Okay, and finally our 20 soldiers have died on that. Because of the clash, and some soldiers from the Chinese side also have died. So this is first the Galwan Valley. Second, Pangso Lake. So Pangso Lake, we have discussed the location. Some area is in Indian territory, then LAC is there, and then some Chinese territory is there. However, some perception of how LAC is there at the very micro level, that's the problem. We will discuss that. Okay. So you see here. So this is the finger area. It is also known as the, if we see zoom in, so this is called also the finger area. So it is named finger 1, finger 2, finger 3, finger 4, like this. So the India's perception of LAC is like this. Just one second. Here till here, finger 7 or finger 8. Okay, so Indians there till this point we have our camps, and till this period we don't have any camps, but our soldiers used to patrol in this region. So Indian soldiers used to patrol in these regions freely. Chinese side have the bases there. This was the before situation, and their soldiers also used to come here. No issue. There's some sort of buffer area. But what currently has been done, you can see this. So this is the line, and Chinese camps have been set up in these areas, which was not there. So that is the problem. Now Chinese earlier did not have any camp there, but now they have established their camp there. Now if the Indian army does not go beyond it, because now the camps are there, if they do not, then we have to accept the Chinese claim on the LAC, and we will lose this particular buffer area, isn't it? So that will be a loss of our territory. Okay, so this is the problem at the Pangso Lake. Okay, then what about the hot springs? Now one of the scholars have said that not Pangong and Galwan, but India must worry about the hot spring Gogra region. Why this region? Because though incursions happened later, but a lot of military buildup was at this area. Many of the satellite images from CIA and other places have shown that a lot of military buildup is done by the Chinese at this particular place, hot spring and the hot spring Gogra region. Now recently you can see the news. It is 3rd January, 3rd June, and you can see 25th July news. Very recent. So now disengagements are happening at the Galwan hot spring Gogra in the Ladakh. Okay, so this is the hot spring region. So this is the Galwan Valley, this is the hot spring region, and this is the Pangso Lake. So these are the major three major areas which were in the news, which were the people also know about these places. However, the 4th place, and many scholars say that this place is also very strategic. It is in fact considered to be the most strategic place, and which is not considered by the public consciousness. People do not know about it, or it is not, because everywhere it is in the news, Galwan ka Balwan and everything. There is no pressure also. So when many of the commentators have said that the Chinese have made a lot of incursion into this Depsang plains. So this is the Depsang area just above the Galwan. So many scholars have said that China has made a lot of incursions and Indian army has not done anything. There is a strategic silence of the Indian army of the Chinese incursion into this Depsang area. Why? The scholars themselves have said just because they believe that if India does not say anything about it, the Chinas will withdraw from the Pangso Lake, because that is where the major highlight has been, the China media and everything. Okay, however, it is a very strategic area. So LAC at the Depsang is disputed by both the sides, and it's a very strategic place because if you come here, then you near the Daulat Beg Oldie, and you are near to the Siachen area, isn't it? And if the China can cut this out, then our access to the Siachen will become an issue. Okay, and there you can see also the significance of the road as well. Okay, right. So China remains aggressive. You can see 9 July. China remains aggressive posture as the Depsang plain. Right. Then next area is the Chushul area. So Chushul area is near to the nearby Pangsong Lake. Now this area has been only a village is there. Okay, and the problem is there of the pasture lands. So there also some tension is there. Some tension is there on the Chushul. Some incursions have been reported from Chushul. Now Chushul, interestingly, is also one of the places where the crucial talks happen between the countries. So it is one of the 5 places, one of the 5 official places on the border personal meeting points of Indian army and the army of the China. So 2 are in the western sector, 3 are in the eastern sector. So Chushul is one of the area where the army people meet and they do the confidence building measure, or they do they avoid or they develop some sort of consensus that okay, we will create this much buffer, or you withdraw 2 kilometers, we withdraw 2 kilometers, something like that. Next sector is Demchok. So Demchok is this area. Now if you remember, I have discussed that LAC is till this area. So this is an Indian administered area. Okay, but China's claim is this line. So China claimed this area. It is just opposite to Aksai Chin. Okay, so we will see here. You can see. So this is the Chinese claim line. So Chinese claim that this is our area, but LAC is right here. So it is said to be controlled by India and claimed by China. It is just opposite to the Aksai Chin, which is controlled by China and claimed by India. Okay, so just opposite to Aksai Chin, this is another disputed. Obviously, you'll call it a disputed area, just like Aksai Chin is a disputed area. Similarly, this is also a disputed area. So this is one more area where I just wanted to focus, because a lot of different locations were there. That is why I've decided to dedicate this whole session to the China in the world, the South China Sea, and in the India, this China dispute. Okay, so we will also see how it unfolds. Actually, I've given you very recent information, but as we go on, if some other places they open up front or some other development take place, we will obviously discuss those as we move forward. Okay, right. Now we discuss very little with respect to the eastern sector, because that's not too much in news. So what's the problem in the eastern sector? So China once said that India, okay, the problem in the eastern sector can be resolved if India gives us what we want in the western sector. But India obviously does not agree to it. India said, no, we claim both the eastern sectors also and the western sector. That is why the dispute continues. So China labels this Arunachal Pradesh as its own, as they called it the South Tibet. Okay, and the line which separates India and China, that is called the McMahon line. So just like we have discussed two lines there, Johnson line and the MacDonald line, there is a McMahon line. So it was the McMahon line was signed between the before independence between the Tibet and the British India under the Shimla Convention. So China currently, after it became independent, it rejected that, no, as Tibet was not sovereign, Tibet does not have the authority to sign this agreement. Hence, we will not, and we are not ready to use this McMahon line as the official line. However, McMahon line is a part of the LAC. It is a part of the LAC. Okay? Line of actual control. So it's a frontier it was a frontier between Tibet and Assam in the British East, in the British India time. Okay, it was negotiated then, and finally, whenever the Dalai Lama goes to this area such as Tawang or Arunachal Pradesh, it always causes flare in the China. Okay, so China claims this territory as its own. However, if any development takes place or any news with respect to this area, for example, we have seen the western sector, very small details, or if something happens in the eastern sector, we'll discuss those areas as well. So this much is important for now, right? So let us see what we have discussed in this particular session. We started with our discussion on the South China Sea. Please see all the important area that are there. You see, locations in the news is not only the mapping portion. If you have seen my previous videos, this is the 12th video we are coming up with, because we started with the June and we are ending with the May. Not ending with, but we are continuing with the May. All the 12 months that I have taken in the location news, I have tried to give you the context. I have tried to give you the additional information which is relevant with respect to the subject, isn't it? So we started with the South China Sea. First, the location: Sea of Japan, Yellow Sea, East China Sea, and the South China Sea. There is one location that is left out in the East China Sea, where the China and Japan are having an issue. So I'll discuss that into the next session, no issue. Then we have discussed the 9-dash line. We have discussed the Spratly Island. Then we have discussed the Great Wall of Sand, which is in the Spratly Island, where the land reclamation projects have been done by the China. Then we have discussed about the Paracel Island. We have discussed the Scarborough Shoal, China and Philippines issue. Then Natuna Islands with respect to the Indonesia, China's further aggressiveness or assertiveness. Then we have discussed some reefs, that is Kattingan Reef and Zamora Reef. Then we have discussed India. So we have discussed the overall idea, western sector, middle sector and the eastern sector. Then we've discussed the western sector. In the western sector, first we have discussed some historical context, that is the Johnson-Urga line, then McCartney and MacDonald line. What is this line and what is this line? The context of both have been discussed. Then we discussed in the absence of the definition of the LAC, how this grazing area thing also plays a very important role, and why it is a very strategic significance, right? We also discussed that Galwan event was not a singular event or one of the event, rather it is seen as a culmination of the events. Then we have discussed the DS-DBO road. Then we have seen that how this road becomes a context of the recent flare-ups, just like we have discussed the Nepal issues as well, Nepal boundary issue. Then we have discussed about Galvan Valley, how the Galvan Valley was also there in the 1962 war, clashes were part of the 1962 war also. Then what are the specific issue with respect to the Pangso Lake, and if any development happens, we will discuss that also later on. Hot Springs area, Hot Springs, Gogra area, they can ask you to arrange this north to south, but however it is very politically sensitive issue, so I don't expect questions on it, but you can discuss one question in the larger context in the mains exam. Then Depsang area, and finally we discussed Chushul, Demchok area, where it very interesting, just opposite to the Aksai Chin, right? Very opposite to the Aksai Chin. We have seen that it is controlled by India but claimed by China. Then finally, we discuss the eastern sector also as well. So we are done with our May month location, right? So next we will start the other content. April and May we are going continuously, simultaneously. So we'll continue on those lines. We'll complete it very soon, right? So we had some sort of hiatus after some break after the March month, but now we'll be going through till our prelims examination. So thank you everyone. See you in the next class. So keep on revising. Places in news are really interesting session I have, and I have got some feedbacks as well that places in news is something very important and very interesting also. In this particular session, I've tried to give you some flair of the international relation also, but in detail, some with respect to India, China, international relations, some other aspects I'll discuss in the international relation news, right? So see you in the next class, everyone. Thank you.